Up. I'm loving that. Thank you. That was perfect. Ah, as we breathe in that waking up every morning and the blessings that brings, welcome all. In person, on Zoom, on Facebook, whatever room, welcome all to the light and love that is Unity of Lawrence. In unity, we begin everything with joyful prayer. Let's take a centering breath and open to the divine in all of us as we listen to this prayer. We celebrate the divine source that lives and breathes within us. We accept ourselves without judgment and accept each other. We acknowledge our place in the environment and care for our sacred mother. We carry light, share peace, and live in joy and thanksgiving. And so it is. Amen. Our prayer chaplains are trained to hold sacred space and pray with us one-on-one. If there is anything in your heart to be held in prayer, we invite you to see a chaplain following today's service at the front of the sanctuary. And today, Miss Betty blesses us with her gifts. And so now it is time to join together in song. Please join Holly in singing, I've Got the Power. All right, let's stand together. I've got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. I've got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. I've got the power, you've got the power, we got the power. I've got the power to make all my dreams come true. I've got the power, there's nothing I can do. And I've got the power to be anything I want. I've got the power inside of me. I've got the power inside of me. Let's try it again. I've got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. I've got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. I've got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. And I've got the power to make all my dreams come true. I've got the power, there's nothing I can do. I've got the power to be anything I want. And I've got the power inside of me. And I've got the power inside of me. Let's greet each other safely with a bow. We'll bow. You can even come up front and wave to the folks at home. Every day I'm wasting my time thinking that someone else is gonna do it all for me. I gotta get up, get out, get in, just get started. Take one step towards my destiny. I'll define my direction with clear-cut intention. Declare what will be, and then watch it come to me. I've got the power, we got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. I've got the power to make all my dreams come true. I've got the power, there's nothing I can do. I got the power to be anything I want. And I've got Yes, we do. And as we settle into our seats and affirm the power in all of us, let's also affirm together Unity's intentions. Please affirm with me Unity's founding principle together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And now our Unity of Lawrence vision. United in divine love and joy, we celebrate a peaceful and abundant world for all. And our Lawrence mission statement, we are a thriving spiritual community, sharing love, building bridges, and inspiring transformation. Oh, I'm so excited to be transformed with our special guest on music, Calvin Arsenia. Let's give him a warm welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Hello. There's an echo.
Does it sound okay for you guys? Okay, maybe yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. I'm really grateful to be here with you this morning, and I'm sad that the snow is keeping us a little bit distant. But I'm grateful that we've learned how to overcome these kinds of obstacles together. So that's kind of fun. And luckily, because of the past couple of years, I got really good at learning how to Zoom things. So I'm grateful to be with you. This first song I would like to share with you is a song from my most recent record called Cantaloupe. It's called Headlights. And when I learned that the theme of the morning, the message of the morning was about the hero within, and the power that our choices have, and what comes from within us. I always like to go back to my own personal life, and one of the most remarkable things, I guess, that I've been through in the journeys of learning about the power within was in the process of writing this song, which was like that I have the power to honor the gifts that have been given to me, to honor the investments that my loved ones and my teachers and mentors have placed inside of me. That the best way to honor those gifts and those and all of the wisdom and care and food that people and energy and resources that people have invested in me is to love myself and to care for those things. And so this song is called Headlights. I used to think that love was a solution. Convinced there was ever a cure-all. I waited around in perpetual slow motion. Planned obsolescence, already back to patching the seams. It ain't what it seems to be. Over and over and over and over again, I fall apart. Over and over and over and over again, I fall too hard. But I'm gonna be okay, whether you're in or out. The headlights look the same, going in or out. I found my new vice, and it's filling me up like an ashtray. And I took every single mirror down, 'cause I don't want to see malnutrition seeping from beneath this paper towel. It's much to clean up. So I open the window and pretend I'm picking roses in Versailles. The headlights look the same, going in or out. Whoa, and I'm gonna be okay, whether you're in or out. In or out. In or out. In Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing your gifts. And speaking of sharing, what a pleasure. Diane Silver is a Lawrence-based poet who has published 2 books of meditations on hope and worked as a political activist. She serves as a chaplain at Unity of Lawrence and is a dear member of our church. Welcome, Diane.
Wow. As always, it is an amazing joy to be called on to speak here at Unity of Lawrence. And I want to give a special shout out to Calvin. Wow, that was wonderful. I hope we can have him back sometime so that we can feel the energy in our presence of both his voice and his amazing harp. Wow, I don't think I've ever been in the presence of a harp that was actually played, so I just can't wait for that. So when Kathy Moreland said, Diane, can you speak on January 16th? Oh, okay. Hand me a microphone, I will speak. It is a well-known fact. And then she said, well, of course we'll be celebrating Martin Luther King Day, because the holiday is on Monday. And I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. That seems scary. But then I thought about it some more. And I thought, yes, it is important for all of us to be here for Martin Luther King Day. Here are some quotes from the great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? The time is always right to do what's right. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. The title of this talk is Finding the Hero Within. A hero is a champion for the people. A hero is an individual who takes actions into the home, who takes action, who sees something that's wrong and takes action to fix it. I know many great heroes. I know of many great heroes, we all do. Obviously, Martin Luther King Jr. is one of them. Can you name some other great heroes? Harriet Tubman. Who else? Rosa Parks. Who else? Mahatma Gandhi. Yeah. Eleanor Roosevelt. Oh, say that again. Reverend Olympia Brown. Awesome. Anybody else? Michelle Obama. We can also say Jesus. We can also say the Buddha. We can also say a whole bunch of other people. But do you know what? You all missed a bunch of heroes. I see heroes right here, right now. Colleen Riley is a hero. I know for a fact she is a hero. Michelle Kirk is a hero. Cindy Whitmer is a hero. All of you, every single person in this room, I'm pointing to everyone here, you are all heroes. You wonderful people up in the sound booths. You are all heroes. Some of you have already taken up the mantle of acting as a hero. And some of you have not yet had the opportunity to embrace that. Today, I'm going to talk about the 3 things that make a hero and how you get them. How do we find that hero within? Because if there was ever a time when this country and this world needs heroes, it is now. Yeah, amen to that. I don't even have to list all the reasons. To be a hero requires 3 things. 1, vision, or another way to say that is perception. You have to perceive what needs to be changed. Number 2, courage. And we have, I think as a culture, a really weird backwards idea of what courage is. We tend to think that courage is acting without fear. Oh, no. Courage is acting despite being afraid. Courage is acting despite being afraid. Every hero we have named had courage, has courage. They acted despite the fact they were afraid. And the 3rd thing a hero has to have is faith. Faith that you personally can make a difference. Faith that it's worthwhile to take action, even if you're not guaranteed immediate success. Even if the path forward seems almost impossible to see. So how do we learn to see clearly? How do we gain that precision, that vision, that ability to perceive? Well, the easiest and perhaps the most glib answer is the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That is a great rule. But as I thought about that, I thought, it is a great rule. It is a rule we should all live by, but it is so much easier said than done. And one of the biggest reasons why that is so hard is because we are swimming in a soup of culture that tells us some people are not worthy to be called people. Some people are not as good as we are. We are given and force-fed these stories our whole lives about the people who are poor because they're lazy, or the people who don't get the so-called right job because they're not smart enough, or the people who aren't supposedly strong enough. You can all think of these stories, right? When Martin Luther King Jr. stood in the mall in Washington and said, I have a dream that one day my 4 little children will be judged on the content of their character and not on the color of their skin, he was talking about those stories, because they were not seen as the same kind of human beings, if they were even seen as human, as white people. So the problem we face in doing unto others as we would have them do unto us is to see that they are us. The problem we face is to let go of those old stories, to find a way to shed them, take them off, really heavy backpack. Get that thing off and lay it down, let it go. But then as I thought about this some more, another problem with perceiving clearly that we can do unto others as we would do unto ourselves is, what if we think ourselves that we are not worthy? And I don't know about you, but who in this room has ever felt that they're not good enough? Raise your hand. Yeah, me, everybody, yeah. It is hard at times to feel that you're worthy. So one of the things we need to do to be able to perceive clearly is that, yes, we want to do to others as we would have ourselves be treated. But we also want to feel, we have to see that we are worthy, that everyone is worthy, that all the creatures of this earth are worthy. Now that is really something that we talk about every Sunday here in Unity. So we could talk about, that's a whole nother conversation, a long conversation, but I did want to mention that. The second thing to becoming a hero is a hero acts with courage. You act despite the fact that you are afraid. How the heck do you get courage? You don't go into Costco and get a $3.95 pack of 60-pack of courage. How do you find it? My feeling is that courage is a skill. It is a skill like learning to ride a bicycle. And the good news for all of us is that we have all been practicing courage our entire lives. The first time you got on that two-wheeler, you were practicing courage. When you walked into kindergarten, you were practicing courage. I mean, you had to make that walk from the parent who dropped you off or the very loved adult, and it was like, you're leaving me? What am I doing here? That was practicing courage, and you all did it. Let me tell you, one of the greatest moments, one of the greatest teaching moments I had, one of the greatest moments of practicing courage was my first week in college. Oh boy, I look back on that and I think, oh man, I was so afraid. I got my bachelor's at Michigan State University. Now, University of Kansas, which is where we are now, is a big school. There are like 25,000 students on the main campus here in Lawrence. The Michigan State University is twice as big. And when my parents dropped me off at the dorm, I was like, oh, this sounded like a good idea when I got in and applied, but I don't know what I'm doing here. How do I even find my classes? And then I walked into a dorm. I had never lived anywhere except this little ranch house that we had in Garden City, Michigan, a very small, lower middle class suburb of Detroit. I had never lived anywhere else. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, the cafeteria is so big. Where do I get my plate? Where's the line? What do I do? And I've never done my laundry on my own. And how do I find my classes? And where do I go? Bus? I get a bus pass? How do I get my bus pass? But the thing is that I and everybody else who's gone through that experience, whether it's the first week in college or the first week on a job or the first week in a new school, a new high school, we have all been teaching ourselves courage because we did it despite the fact we were afraid. It is courage for the big moments is exactly the same. You do it despite the fact that you are afraid. And luckily, we have been training ourselves for it our whole lives. Like any other skill, you start small and you work up. You know, when you see Simone Biles doing these flips in the air, the famed gymnast, and doing all these amazing things, she didn't start out vaulting through the air or hanging off the uneven bars. She started out, or the best example is the balance beam. She didn't start out on a balance beam off the floor. She started learning her routines as a kid on a very narrow beam painted on the floor. So she learned how to do this. She wasn't even off the ground. And that's what all of us have done. We have taught ourselves courage. Little bit step at a time. Each time something new has come up, we figured it out. So we have been training ourselves this skill. The third thing that you have to do to be a hero, to find that hero within, is to find faith. How do we find faith? Well, I think there are 3 steps. You know, 3 is a magic number. There are 3 steps to finding faith. One is meditation. One do here all the time. The meditation helps you let go of the old stories about the world and yourself. The prayer helps you see anew as you pray to your understanding of God. And then the third thing that helps us find faith, I think, is a little bit of information. So here's a beginning on some of those bits of information. One of the things that I think that holds me back from taking action, taking heroic action, is that I think it's useless. I've been struggling with this a lot lately, thinking, I can't, little old me, I can't do anything to change the world. What can I do to end racism? What can I do to stop climate change? What can I do to stop sexism and all the other hatreds and all the other stupidities in this world? What can I do? Our democracy seems to be in danger. What can I do? Me, little me, 1 vote, 2 hands. I need 1 million votes and 47 hands. But here's what we forget. Change has always occurred when one person acts, and then a second person acts, and then a third person acts, and then a fourth, and a fifth, and 100, and 1,000, and 2,000, and millions. Here's an example. It's one of my favorite examples. One of my favorite authors is Rebecca Solnit, and Solnit. She has written many wonderful books, and one of her best is entitled A Paradise Built in Hell. It is a study of disasters and how people respond to disasters. She actually went to New Orleans and did a lot of reporting on Hurricane Katrina and what people did after the hurricane. And the interesting thing that she found in her reporting, her research, was that we have this story. See, here it is again, this story we tell ourselves. We have this inaccurate story that after disasters, people panic. That dog eat dog. We all go after each other. Oh, no. That is not what actually happens after a disaster. Rebecca Solnit found that, like in the San Francisco earthquake in 1906, after Hurricane Katrina, after every disaster, people come together when they have nothing, when they have no place to live, when they have no electricity, no food, they come together and help each other. That's why the title is A Paradise Built in Hell, because they're going through hell, but it's a paradise of how the world should be, because everyone is working together. And she gives us one particular example from Hurricane Katrina, one can't quite talk today, from the hurricane that I think is really relevant to us all being heroes. She talks about the Cajun Navy. The Cajun Navy is a group of volunteers. Each one of them owns their own private boat, speedboats, all sorts of different little boats, little sailboats, whatever. They all have boats. And during Hurricane Katrina and in other disasters after that, when the people are stranded in floods, they go out and they eat. These are a whole bunch of volunteers. They go out and they go rescue people. And here's the thing about the Cajun Navy. If you have your own little boat, you can maybe put 1 person in there, 2 people leave there. If you have a big boat, maybe 5 or 10, really big boat, You can't save everybody who needs to be saved in flooded New Orleans, but you go anyways. The members of the Cajun Navy go anyways. They can't save everyone, but they can save Betty. They can save Colleen. They can save Gail and Dave and Robin and Karen and Ann. Each person mounts up. To me, that is the most amazing and wonderful tale, because I always have to remind myself of that. Because to be a hero, I don't have to fix climate change all by myself. I don't have to stop all the racism in this country. I don't have to save our democracy all by my little self. I just have to do one thing. I have to save one person. Take one action that can inspire other people, that can combine with other actions to create a greater whole. The Cajun Navy saved hundreds of people, even though each person with their own boats maybe saved 1 or 2 or 5. They still saved hundreds. So all I have to do to be a hero is do one thing. Today one thing, maybe tomorrow another. So I ask you today to take up the mantle. I ask you today to realize that our old cartoon view of heroes, of this big guy with big muscles who kills all the bad guys, is just that, a cartoon. And that the heroes are all the people sitting in this room, and all the people watching out there, and everyone. It doesn't matter how strong you are. It doesn't matter if you can get up and give a good speech like Martin Luther King Jr. The heroes of Selma, remember what happened in Selma when they were fighting for voting rights? The heroes of the march in Selma were all the people on the bridge who marched even though it was scary, even though they were facing physical danger. The heroes is each individual person, 99% of whom we do not know their names, or we do not honor their names as we should. It's each individual person who got up that morning, had coffee or a little bit of breakfast, got their clothes on, and marched across that bridge thinking they were gonna die. They did it anyways. So I ask you to make a commitment to do one thing, to accept your mantle as hero. So before I end my talk, we don't usually do this, but I'm really kind of in love with prayer right now. And so I want to end this talk with a prayer, and I'm calling it the Hero's Prayer. So if you will take a breath and bow your heads or do whatever feels right for prayer. This is the Hero's Prayer, and you are praying it all for yourselves. We open ourselves to the guidance and presence of the divine. May we perceive clearly so that we can know what we need to do. May we act courageously so that we can help ourselves and others accomplish more than any of us ever thought possible. May we live in faith so that we can have the energy to work together to create a world that works for all. And so it is. Amen.
of the free, home of the brave. Some the grown-ups used to say, but they forgot to mention, despite good intentions, 400 years and ain't much changed. They told the story of American glory, but the dream got in the way. Scars and scars and scars and stripes forever. Scars and scars and scars and stripes forever. You could think I should forgive and forget, but I haven't even started my healing yet. Just scars and scars and scars and stripes forever. The world is watching, and still we're marching on the lands that were betrayed. My body matters, my heart is shattered, but I'll keep singing anyway, to tell the story of American glory, but they won't wash our part away. Scars and scars and scars and stripes forever. Scars and scars and scars and stripes forever. You could think I should forgive and forget, but I haven't even started my healing yet. Just scars and scars and scars and stripes forever. Lady Liberty, your torch shines for me. Hope one day you get to see your people living free. On that day we'll sing, we'll let freedom ring, the chorus of our voices thundering through humanity. Wherever you are, will you sing this with me? Home of the brave, 400 years and ain't much changed.
temperature in this place. Smell the wonderful odors, the aromas. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Off to your right. Off to your right is a small circle of light, a small sphere, a little sun. A little sun. It's growing larger. It is so bright. And you might think maybe it'll burn you, but it doesn't. It is warm. It is so warm. And it covers, the light covers your skin. And then it goes through and it flows through your body. It washes through your heart. It washes through your mind. It washes through your throat and your solar plexus and every part of your body. And this is the light of divine love, which has come here this day, in this moment, for you. This divine love. Oh, my hero, you are so wonderful. The divinity sees you as this wonderful hero because that is who you are. This love grows. This power of a single sun, of 1,000 suns grows. This power of love grows. This love for you and love for the world, it grows and it fills you. And it fills this space where you are the safest you have ever been. It fills us all. Sit in silence, fills us, washes through us, this love. As we sit in silence. This divinity, this divine love, thanks you for being here at this moment on earth. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. The world needs you. As the light grows a little bit dimmer, it says thank you. We will now come back to the material plane. Now come back. And as we come back into this room, one little step at a time, as we feel our feet again on the floor, our seat on the cushions, as we feel wherever we are, we feel the breeze from the fans overhead, the breeze from the furnace. We come back. We know that we will take with us certainty that we are loved and we are needed right now.
freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. No more mourning, no more mourning, no more mourning over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. No more sadness, no more sadness, no more sadness over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. No more weeping, no more weeping, no more weeping over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. I'll go home to my Lord and be free. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness. Such power in your music, and power we are reminded of with Diane's talk. I'm reminded as I was listening to both about the Women's March in Lawrence that one of our founders of Unity, Joe Anderson, orchestrated with others, and our Reverend Cherie at the time, who spoke. And we are often reminded of what we are against, what we don't like. But always her words come back to me at just the perfect moments. What are we for? And in Lawrence, in Unity of Lawrence, we act from love, for love, to be the love. And so as our ushers come forward for our time of thanks, I invite you to join me as we hold our gifts to this community in our hands and love in our hearts. And let's affirm together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is, through love. If you would like to use a debit or credit card, please stop by the office. If you set up a PayPal that's automatic, that's easy peasy. And thank you for the love offerings that help us act through love to be love in our community. And as that's collected, let's join Holly in singing Blessing to the World. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. And so, as our ushers come forward, here's our prayer of thanks as we listen. We are grateful, and we bless the flow of good that supports our unity community. We bless the givers who give their time, talent, and treasures. We stand in the knowing that the flow of good goes forth only to return again and again. And so it is. Aho. Well, a special welcome to our guests today. Thank you for joining us in this room, in Zoom, in Facebook, wherever you are. If you would like to know more about the information of the Unity Movement and Unity of Lawrence, please pick up a welcome packet in the lobby. The Lunch Bunch is meeting at Hoo-Hot today at 2525 Iowa Street, 2525 Iowa in 2022. All are welcome. And the Calvin Arsenia concert scheduled for today has been postponed to a later date. I do hope we're able to drop a website, a link, a way to find Calvin online in these times, because I would definitely love to hear more. Please join Robin Goff in envisioning new leadership for the Light Center. A person with Unity credentials is preferred. We know that Spirit hears this request, and the perfect people are on their way before the end of this year. And so it is. Our weekly meditation group meets on Tuesdays at 6:30 here in the sanctuary. All are welcome as we continue to wear masks in this space. The January Drum Circle will meet next Sunday, January 23rd at 1:30 in the sanctuary. Join us with a drum or just come and listen as, again, we protect one another with masks. Do mark your calendars. Our 2022 annual meeting is scheduled for January 30th, Sunday, following the service. The agenda includes electing new board members, finalizing our budget, and reviewing past year's achievements. Remember, only members can vote, but all are welcome. See Kathy in the office if you have any questions. And I'm looking forward to Karen Langsford bringing us the message next week, to life, l'chaim. Special music is with Cindy Novello. And now it is time for us to sing "We Are Walking in the Light" to one another and all the children in our hearts and everywhere, as Holly leads. We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light, in the light of God. In the light, as the light, as the light, as the light. In the light, in the light, in the light of God. And so, as we rub our hands together, let's bless one another and recognize the child in all of us, the freedom in all of us, the love in all of us, as we say together, we are alive. We bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. And now it's time to join one another in singing together the peace song. And now our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God washes over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Woohoo! Go Chiefs!